So it's Friday, and I figured I'd get into this window. You know, I can order the parts, maybe have them here Monday or Tuesday. We'll see what it looks like right now. Because a lot of dirt and dust gets in here, and I noticed, look at all the dirt's caked up on these little plastic rollers here. I think I'm going to replace these since I got it out. Might as well. This thing is spring loaded. I didn't know that. See, it's got a little spring in it. Where's that? There. And there's a spring on there to help the window go back up. That's the motor. The motor's working fine. I can hear it, but it won't go up and down. So the gears are probably stripped out. We'll see whether that's replaceable. There's got to be a drive motor, maybe like a worm gear or something. I'll take that motor off. It's 3 bolts on the motor, 3 little bolts. Then we'll clean everything up. A lot of quick look at the motor. Here's the motor. This is the motor. This is actually the drive thing. I thought it was a what do they call it? A worm gear or something in here, but there we go. Got plenty of grease, right? It gets this thing in here. That goes in there like that. And this gear drives the window thingy. Oh, yeah, it just spins by hand there. So this thing here, see the way it's shaped, meets up with something in there. If you look carefully, you can see like a triangular shape. See that? See that? Let me clean some grease out of there and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so it's another hot day out here. Shorts and flip-flops, right? So here's the gear that goes in there. Isn't that interesting? It's a worm gear, as I suspected. See that? See wormy in there? It's full of grease, but this goes in next, so that's what makes up with the worm gear. And then now you can see the triangular thing in there. So this is nylon, this is steel, the worm gear is steel, so I suspect something's missing here. Something is no longer there. This thing does not grab. So anyway, I'll go online right now and look and see what we got.
Leave my office and I go downtown to a little bar we all hang around. Laugh, drink beer, and shoot pool, have a ball. When the laughter stops and the curtain takes hold, reach in my pocket for my billfold.
Parts total was $50. That included these new cables right here. Those cables are corroded up and ready to break, so I got those too. Yesterday I spent all day working on this truck here. First thing was to figure out what was wrong with this rear window. So I had to take the regulator out. This is the regulator. Here's the motor. I know the motor works because I can hear the motor running up and down, but nothing's moving, right? So it's a worm drive. It's basically a worm drive motor. There's a worm gear in here, and then there's a plastic gear, and then the metal gear. So all the metal looks good, and I know the motor works. They sell a gear kit on here from a repair kit. So this is the original motor. It's about 22 years old. Should work good because, you know, this doesn't work all the time, just intermittently. This is the regulator. It goes up and down. gear, the motor sits on the back side and drives this segment gear, I think it's called. And just this, that's window down, the motor reverses, window up. And this is spring loaded, I assume just to help the window go back up. It's got these little rollers here on the sides, because this attaches to the glass. As you can see, there's 2 screws on there. There's brackets on the bottom of the glass, and that's what those go to. And then it's got a channel in there. These go in these little plastic rollers and slide back and forth as it goes up and down. So what happens here is these things tend to wear right here. Let's see where we at, right there. See how it's got a flat spot on the top there? I assume that's from pushing the window up. So here's the other one. So while I've got it apart, I ordered new plastic little roller things. I may put some grease in here, but I don't know whether it's a good idea or not, because it gets a lot of dust in here. And all the dust does is attract dirt. I'm not sure it's a good idea or not. This bracket here is mounted in the same location as the regulator here. And that bracket is just a backing bracket for the old spare tire mount that goes on the outside. So what else is there to this window? There are sliders in here. There are guides that go for this window to go down. So there's a bolt right here, and there's another bolt right there, and there's these guides that go in there. They tend to wear out, then your window doesn't go nice and smooth. So I replaced those some years ago. That's how I know. One on that side, another one on this side. The brackets. This bracket here, this attaches the window to the regulator. Once I put the regulator back in there, line these up, put the screws back in. The regulator bolts into the middle here. There's some tricks to getting the bolts out, accessing the bolts. Like, see, there's a mounting bolt right there, and as you can see, there's a hole in the gear thingy. Yeah, you may have to rotate these so you can access the bolt underneath. And then it helps to have small hands, relatively small hands. There's a plug in there. You got to unplug the motor. There's a plug right there. That is also attached somewhere in there, I guess, to keep it out of the way of the motor, the window rolling up and down. So that'll be a little challenge. There's a lot of dirt in there, but it's all on the bottom, like dry mud and leaves. It's really fine stuff. Desert dirt. But if you got this thing open, you might as well check and make sure your drains are clear. There's little drain holes on the bottom here so water doesn't accumulate on the bottom of the... Yeah, I can see they're open. There's just a lot of... There's chunks of mud in there and stuff. Maybe I'll get my vacuum and see if I can vacuum it up. I don't know whether it's even worthwhile doing that. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now the window switch, my window switch is out too, so where's it at? Oh, it's right there. I might look into that right now too while I got things open. The rest of the day I've been troubleshooting this rear switch to the door. On the back of these Broncos there is a keyhole. It's actually a switch. Put your key in there so you can operate the door from the outside, the window. went out some years ago. I figured it was a bad switch. So I typically have to operate from inside. I gotta use it, reach in here, roll it up and down, and then go back there, and then come back up here, roll it up and down. Now, she's watching me over there. Quit watching me. Quit watching me. Quit watching me. Okay. Kids. Anyway, yeah. Oh man. There's some troubleshooting here. I know the motor works. I was going to order a new switch and replace the one in the back, and I started troubleshooting it with this circuit tester here, and there's no power back there. You're supposed to have one hot leg back there to that switch, and then from there it goes to the motor, up or down. So I'm like, huh, must be a fuse, right? It doesn't have a fuse, it has a circuit breaker. It has a black and white, black with white striped wire. It goes from there all the way back, I assume, up to the circuit breaker. Not a fuse, a circuit breaker, and it's just on that circuit back here for the key. So there's a plug underneath there, underneath the rear bumper there. Check that out, that's dead. Followed the wires back midway underneath the rail here, the frame rail. Found the black white wire. It's got power. So somewhere in between here and there's no power. So without taking the whole wire harness off and everything, I just ran a new wire. I spliced it in from where it's hot back to the plug, and everything's good now. Oh man, driving me nuts. I was gonna buy a new switch, right? So, just in case you're wondering, yeah. In the door panel, you know where the switch is, right? The switch is mechanical. I'm not going to take it out for you, but you stick your key in and it just operates a lever inside. It's a paddle kind of thing that goes this way and pushes the button, and then goes back the other way and pushes the other button up and down. Should have 6 wires, one to each side, one for up, one for down. But one hot for each side, a black and a white stripe. Should have power to that at all times. So, testing it just to show you. Put my key in. And there you have it. Forward, reverse. Got some torque to it. See it jump when I hit the switch? So anyway, I'm glad to have that taken care of. Pow, you. So anyway, that's it for now. Yeah, if you think it's your switch, sometimes it's not the switch, it's just a bad wire. That's 2 bad wires I found on this truck. One was shorting out somewhere, I don't know where. I just bypassed that thing, ran a new one. This one here, there's a short somewhere, or a broken circuit, you know? Somewhere between here and that little switch in the tailgate. Or actually underneath around the bumper there's a plug for the tailgate. No power there, so I just need my parts now. I need my gears and my little rollers. Put that tailgate back together. That'll probably be next week.